A competitor spread rumors my product was dangerous. I sued and destroyed their company. What they didn't realize was that every lie they told, every false claim they made, was building the evidence I needed to not just clear my name, but to dismantle their entire operation piece by piece. This story begins in March 2021 when I launched NutriBlend Pro, a plant-based protein powder I'd spent 3 years developing. I'm Elena Martinez, and after working as a nutritionist for 8 years, I'd finally created something I believed in. Natural ingredients, third-party tested, with certifications from every major food safety organization. I'd invested $340,000 of my own savings plus a $200,000 small business loan to launch this company. The first 6 months exceeded every projection. We hit $1.2 million in sales through a combination of my professional network, social media marketing, and genuine word of mouth from satisfied customers. Health food stores were reaching out to stock our products. Fitness influencers were reviewing us positively. Everything was building exactly as I'd hoped. Then in September 2021, I woke up to my phone exploding with notifications. Someone had posted in a popular fitness forum claiming that NutriBlend Pro had sent them to the hospital with severe stomach problems and possible kidney damage. The post included photos of medical documents and detailed descriptions of their supposed symptoms. The username was FitnessTruth2021, and they claimed to be a personal trainer who'd recommended my product to clients, only to see multiple people experience serious health issues. Within hours, the post had thousands of views and hundreds of comments from people saying they'd also experienced problems or warning others to stay away. My heart was pounding as I read through the thread. The medical documents looked official, but something felt wrong. The symptoms described didn't match anything our ingredients could cause. We use standard protein sources that millions of people consume daily without issue. I immediately called our product liability insurance company and our attorney, Marcus Chen. He reviewed the forum post carefully. "This is defamation," Marcus said flatly. "The medical documents are either fabricated or related to something else entirely. But we need to move fast. This kind of thing spreads quickly online." By noon that day, the post had been shared to Reddit, Facebook groups, and Twitter. People who'd never tried our product were warning others about it. Health bloggers were writing articles about the dangerous protein powder sending people to the hospital. Our sales dropped 40% overnight. I spent the next 72 hours doing everything I could to respond. I posted detailed information about our safety testing, our certifications, and our ingredients. I offered to pay for independent testing of any product that anyone claimed had caused problems. I tried to contact Fitness Truth 2021 directly to get more information. Nothing worked. In fact, my responses seemed to make things worse. People accused me of covering up problems, of prioritizing profits over safety, of being a typical corporate shill who didn't care about harming customers. Then more posts started appearing. Different usernames but similar stories. GymRat 2020 claimed their doctor told them to stop using NutriBlend Pro immediately. Health Warrior 99 said they'd suffered liver problems after just 2 weeks. FitMom 2021 posted about her teenage son allegedly having an allergic reaction. Each post included just enough specific details to sound credible, but not enough information for me to actually verify anything. No real names, no specific hospitals, no way to follow up on their claims. Meanwhile, my business was collapsing. Within 2 weeks, sales dropped 78%. 3 health food stores canceled their orders and removed our products from shelves. 2 influencers who'd previously promoted us posted apologies for recommending a dangerous product and returned their sponsorship payments. I was losing approximately $35,000 per week. At that rate, I'd be bankrupt in 3 months. Marcus advised me to hire a digital forensics investigator named Rachel Torres. She specialized in tracking down anonymous online accounts and uncovering coordinated disinformation campaigns. "This pattern is too organized to be random," Rachel explained when we met. "Multiple accounts, appearing within a short time frame, all with similar messaging? That's coordination, not coincidence." Rachel got to work analyzing the post. She tracked IP addresses, examined posting patterns, and looked for connections between the anonymous accounts. What she found was damning. All 7 accounts that had posted negative claims about NutriBlend Pro were traced back to IP addresses registered to Vital Fuel Supplements, my largest direct competitor. 4 of the posts came from their corporate office. 3 came from the home address of their CEO, Brandon Whitmore. Vital Fuel was a $25 million company that had dominated the plant-based protein market until NutriBlend Pro launched. We'd been taking market share from them steadily, and apparently Brandon had decided to fight back with lies instead of innovation. Rachel compiled a comprehensive report showing the timeline of posts correlating with our sales growth, IP address evidence linking posts to Vital Fuel, metadata from the medical documents, showing they'd been created using Photoshop, email evidence she'd obtained through legal channels showing Brandon discussing a negative campaign against competitors. Marcus reviewed the evidence and smiled for the first time in weeks. This is exactly what we need. We're filing 2 lawsuits, defamation and tortious interference with business relationships. But before we could file, I needed to definitively prove our product was safe. I hired 3 independent laboratories to conduct comprehensive testing of NutriBlend Pro samples. Every batch, every ingredient, every possible contaminant. The results came back after 4 weeks. All 3 labs found our product to be completely safe, with no harmful substances, proper labeling and ingredients matching our claims exactly. One lab director wrote a letter stating that in his 30 years of food testing, he'd rarely seen a supplement product with such rigorous quality control. I also tracked down actual medical professionals to review the fake symptoms that had been described in the forum posts. 2 doctors confirmed that the combination of symptoms described would be impossible from our ingredients, and that the supposed test results in the Photoshop documents didn't match the claimed diagnoses. Armed with this evidence, Marcus filed our lawsuits in federal court in November 2021. We sued Brandon Whitmore personally and Vital Fuel Supplements for defamation, false statements harming our reputation, trade libel, false statements about product quality, tortious interference, deliberately disrupting our business relationships, unfair competition. We requested damages of $2.5 million to cover lost sales, reputation repair and punitive damages. Brandon's attorneys tried to dismiss the case, arguing that anonymous online posts couldn't be definitively traced to him. But Rachel's forensic evidence was airtight. The IP addresses, timestamps and patterns were irrefutable. The discovery phase of the lawsuit was devastating for Vital Fuel. We subpoenaed their internal communications and found emails that made our case even stronger than we'd imagined. In one email thread from August 2021, Brandon wrote to his marketing director, "This NutriBlend company is killing us. We need to find a way to slow them down. What if we started raising questions about their safety? Nothing we could be sued for, just concerns and questions." His marketing director, Jennifer Torres, responded, "We could create some anonymous accounts and share personal experiences in forums. Make it look organic. As long as we're careful about how we word things, it's protected speech." Brandon replied, "Do it. But nothing that directly ties back to us." They'd been sloppy enough to discuss their illegal campaign over company email, apparently believing that anonymous posts would protect them from consequences. We also discovered that Vital Fuel had paid a freelance graphic designer $500 to create the fake medical documents that Fitness Truth 2021 had posted. The designer, thinking she was creating materials for a competitor analysis presentation, had saved the files with metadata showing they'd been commissioned by Vital Fuel. As the evidence mounted, Brandon's legal strategy shifted from denial to damage control. His attorneys approached us about settlement discussions in February 2022. The first offer was insulting, $75,000 and a private apology. Marcus laughed and counteroffered, $3.5 million, a public admission of the campaign and Brandon's resignation from Vital Fuel. While settlement negotiations dragged on, I focused on rebuilding my business. I published all the independent safety testing results on our website. I wrote detailed blog posts explaining what had happened and sharing evidence of the smear campaign. I reached out personally to every health food store that had dropped us, showing them the proof that the safety concerns were fabricated. The response was remarkable. People were outraged when they learned the truth. Our story got picked up by business media outlets covering corporate ethics and small business challenges. Several major fitness influencers who'd initially distanced themselves from us now promoted our products enthusiastically, angry that they'd been manipulated. Sales began recovering in March 2022. By April, we'd regained 80% of our pre-campaign volume. Customers who bought from us during this period were incredibly loyal, specifically because they wanted to support a company that had been wronged. Meanwhile, Vital Fuel was experiencing their own problems. News of the lawsuit and the evidence against them spread through the industry. Several retailers dropped their products, not wanting to associate with a company that engaged in illegal business practices. 3 members of their board resigned. Their head of marketing, Jennifer Torres, was fired. The settlement negotiations continued through spring 2022. Brandon's financial situation was deteriorating as Vital Fuel's market value dropped. Their annual revenue fell from $25 million to $16 million as customers abandoned them. Major investors pulled out. Banks became unwilling to extend their credit lines. In June 2022, we reached a final settlement. Vital Fuel would pay $2.8 million in damages. Brandon Whitmore would resign as CEO and sell his stake in the company. Vital Fuel would publish a full-page ad in 3 major business publications admitting to the false campaign and apologizing. Both Brandon and Vital Fuel were barred from making any public statements about NutriBlend Pro or me for 10 years. Vital Fuel would be subject to compliance monitoring to ensure no future defamation campaigns. The public admission hit the news in July 2022. The ad read, Vital Fuel Supplements and former CEO Brandon Whitmore engaged in a false and malicious campaign of defamation against NutriBlend Pro and its founder Elena Martinez. We acknowledge that NutriBlend Pro's products are safe, properly tested and of high quality. Our false statements caused significant harm to a competitor who had done nothing wrong. We deeply apologize and accept full responsibility for our unethical and illegal actions. That ad ran in the Wall Street Journal, New York Times and USA Today. The online versions accumulated hundreds of thousands of views. The business world was paying attention. Brandon's personal consequences were severe. After leaving Vital Fuel, he tried to start a consulting business advising supplement companies. Nobody would work with him. His reputation in the industry was destroyed. Last I heard, he'd moved to a different state and was working in an unrelated field, still paying off legal debts from the settlement. Vital Fuel continued operating under new leadership, but never recovered their market position. They'd gone from industry leader to cautionary tale. By 2024, they were sold to a larger conglomerate for a fraction of their former value. Meanwhile, NutriBlend Pro thrived. The publicity from the lawsuit, combined with the dramatic vindication of our safety and quality, created tremendous goodwill. Customers trusted us because we'd been willing to fight for the truth instead of quietly accepting false accusations. By the end of 2022, we'd surpassed our pre-campaign sales levels. We expanded to 3 new product lines. We secured distribution in major national retailers. Annual revenue hit $4.2 million, triple our original projections. The settlement money allowed me to open a proper manufacturing facility instead of using a co-packer, giving us better quality control and margins. I hired 8 employees, including Rachel Torres as our Director of Brand Protection and Marcus Chin as General Counsel. Today, NutriBlend Pro generates over $8 million annually. We're in 1,200 retail locations across the country. We've won multiple industry awards for product quality and business ethics. And we're still growing steadily. But the most satisfying part isn't the business success. It's knowing that we fought back against lies and won. That we proved truth and evidence could overcome a well-funded defamation campaign. That a small business owner could take on a $25 million competitor and come out stronger. I keep a framed copy of that apology ad in my office. Not as a trophy but as a reminder. A reminder that doing things the right way, investing in quality and safety, and refusing to compromise your principles actually matters. Brandon Whitmore thought he could destroy my business with lies because he couldn't compete on merit. He bet that anonymous online posts would be untraceable and that I wouldn't have the resources to fight back. He was wrong on both counts. The lesson I learned through this nightmare is that modern defamation might happen online, but it leaves digital fingerprints everywhere. IP addresses, metadata, email trails, payment records, all of it can be traced by experts who know what to look for. I also learned that the court system, despite its flaws and expenses, can still deliver justice when you have solid evidence. Yes, the lawsuit cost me $280,000 in legal fees before the settlement. But it was worth every penny to clear my name and protect my business. For anyone facing similar situations, my advice is simple. Document everything, hire experts immediately, and don't be afraid to fight back legally. Defamation thrives when victims stay silent or try to handle it with public relations alone. Sometimes you need the courts to force the truth into the light. The supplement industry is better off without people like Brandon running companies. Competition should be about who makes the best product, not who can spread the most convincing lies about their competitors. 3 years later, NutriBlend Pro is proof that quality, honesty, and persistence can overcome even the most malicious attacks. We didn't just survive Brandon's campaign, we thrived because of how we responded to it. Every day, customers tell me they chose NutriBlend Pro specifically because they read about how we fought back against false accusations. They trust us more because we were willing to defend our integrity in court. That trust is worth more than any settlement check. It's the foundation of a business that will last for decades, built on truth instead of lies, on evidence instead of manipulation. Brandon Whitmore tried to destroy my business to protect his own. Instead, he destroyed his own business and gave me the motivation to build something even better than I'd originally imagined. Thanks for following this whole journey with me. Sometimes standing up for the truth is expensive and scary, but it's always worth it in the end. Until we meet again, folks. If you made it to the end, drop a comment. I love reading all your thoughts.